Good afternoon, you guys. I'm Jocelyn, host of the group, and today I wanted to come on and do a workout and share a little bit of the workout and share along the way. The title of this video is called I Just Want to Feel Like I Did Something. I just want to feel like I did something, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I didn't really have a stressful day by any means. In fact, it wasn't. It was just chill all day. But I have about 10 patient notes, and notes take me forever to do. And just a mountain of things like administrative tasks that I just don't want to do. So I'm trying to just get a sweat on and feel like I did something. And I'll tell you a secret. I already worked out this morning. I went to CrossFit at 5 a.m. And I don't want to work out at that intensity level right now because I already did that. I want to do something different. And this morning's workout was front squats and pull-ups and running. So I don't want to do that right now. I want to work on supplemental things that are going to enhance those other workouts. So right now I'm into my second of third round of barbell rows, and I was kind of torn to do barbell or dumbbell or ring, but I ended up with doing barbell rows. I'm doing pronated or overhand grip bicep curls to work on the elbow flexion extension that I would be doing on a pull-up bar. And then I'm also doing front raises and side raises because on the snatch, whenever I'm coming through, arms come up, I need deltoid, and then I punch. And then, is that all I'm doing? Yeah, front raises and side raises, and then after every round, I'm doing 25 handstand push-ups and 25 box jumps. I am doing, the handstand push-ups is one of the movements that I have committed to work on in the pandemic because I didn't need any equipment. And it's a great body weight exercise, a great way to work on my hip, powering through the hip. And it was always a movement that I wasn't really strong at, but I should be, at least when we look at the whole CrossFit movement library, because I'm lighter. So I was doing 25 kipping handstand push-ups and then 25 box jumps. And the reason why I put the 25 handstand push-ups and the 25 box jumps, they're two different movements in that they're kind of plyometric, more so the box jump than the handstand push-ups, but it also spikes my heart rate up so it feels like I'm doing something, while the other movements do not feel like I'm doing something. So when I am working with someone in rehab or just programming, fitness programming, wellness programming, I don't want people doing more than like 2 days of high intensity interval training, and true HIIT is 90 to 95% max effort the majority of the workout. And I think 2 times a week max of that, because then you're going to be in a constant state of cortisol upregulation. So but do people truly get to 95%? I don't think so. But anyways, this is kind of the style workout that I do, or I'll do like 3 sets of 10 of something, and then every 3 minutes, every 4 minutes, put in like a 5, 10, 15 something to kick up the heart rate. I want my heart rate like relatively low, except with this, but I still want it in the, I want to be able to breathe in through my nose, out through my nose if I wanted. So I'm heading into the last round of this, and then I'm going to do more of a stability circuit after this. So I'm going to stay on live, and if you're on live, maybe you'll learn something because you guys said you wanted education and then workouts as well. this is a little bit of both. So I'm gonna turn this a little bit. I'll move my barbell. So I'm doing 10 barbell rows, 3 sets of 10 essentially, and I'm on the 3rd set. So with the barbell row, I think the biggest mistake people make is they shrug their shoulders up like this. And really, if that's your goal, fine, but I don't think people are really aware of it. I want to just go in, not up and in, and not even really down and in, because it's a horizontal pull. So I want my horizontal muscles to be working and not my vertical or pushing muscles. So if that makes sense and you're listening and this is an aha moment, comment that. If that confuses you, comment that as well. If you watch this on the live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. So I'll start from the beginning. And I'm not thinking of my pelvic floor. I'm basically thinking exhale as I pull, inhale as I release. I'm thinking wrist position. One of my things that pet peeves working with people, whether it's bands or barbells, is they like do this thing like they're revving an engine. Upright rows with their wrist bent like this. And that's just one of the ways the body just loves to cheat. So when you're pulling, make an effort to keep your wrists in neutral. It's like the people that get the wrist injections, they sit and they type like this. Or that's every time they're lifting, or get out of that position. Keep it in the postural muscles. Don't lose tension, don't cheat. Which I know you guys who have done it, or the people that have done it, they don't even know they're doing it. Okay. The movements are front raises and side raises. So for the front raise and the side raise, again, I don't have dumbbells that are light enough. I have plates, so I'm going to use 7.5 pounds. That's even kind of heavy. I don't really lift heavy here because I don't want to create a dominance pattern of my deltoids and upper traps over my other muscles. So I keep these relatively light, 5 pounds, 7.5 pounds. And wrist position, I keep it in neutral. Otherwise, I'm going to lose tension. I'm going to cheat. And then I do both this way when I go out to the side, thumb up and then front. But whenever I'm teaching people, I say, what feels good? If they're rehab, then it's a different story. But you work different fibers a little bit differently, depending if your thumb's up versus straight. My tempo is I go up 2 counts, down 2 counts. Pet peeve of mine is when people shrug and they do this. Keep your shoulders just like here. I can't believe I was a fitness instructor. I'm just kidding. I love teaching fitness classes. I think I like it better than being a physical therapist, actually. Because I can just let people move, not worried about being sued as much. Now front raise, same thing, wrist, work on keeping wrists in neutral. Thumbs up works something to a little, it changes the moment, or one of the things that puts, just work on one of the rotator cuff tendons. So safer option, honestly, is thumb up. Avoiding like this action. And there was a period of time where I didn't really do these as much because well, actually I lied because I was a fitness instructor then. But like in PT school, it's like they tell us, oh my gosh, people just do these exercises and they develop this dominance pattern of the deltoid. And while that is true, I think what they mean, and you're just in your own world as a PT student, is that you want a balanced strategy because we live here, so we need to get overhead. We need to do things to get out of our like everyday life. So I get that. Okay, bicep curls. These are hard. In fact, I'm doing these one-handed at a time. Now, if you have thumb issues, option with these plates is likely not an option that you would like. But I do not have thumb issues yet. But with all my hook gripping in CrossFit, who knows if that's going to be the case. But the reason why I'm doing the overhand grip is because I spend so much time on a pull-up bar, and it creates a lot of loading to the biceps tendon as it's elongating or getting longer. And so I just never train this. And I want to be able to CrossFit or do whatever I want to do for the rest of my life. So my training reflects my activities and my tasks. And my tempo right now does not. So actually I should be like changing it up, doing different types of tempos, but I don't feel like it today. So now I'm doing my handstand push-ups and then the box jumps. And the reason why I'm doing the handstand push-ups and the box jumps is to spike my heart rate, because I want to feel like I'm actually doing something. So this is my way of feeling like I'm actually doing something, but also not getting my heart rate up too high like it was this morning. Thought I was gonna die this morning. There we go. So a couple things that I'm focusing on just to keep technique in mind is how I'm kicking up on the wall. So as a young kid, I only like kicked off my right leg, and I never really trained my left leg, at least in a gymnastics type of way. Ended up tearing my left ACL. So now I try to do what's uncomfortable and train that, because that slows me down to keep the integrity of the workout in mind and to leave my ego at the door. So I got 10 more handstand push-ups. In this set, I'm gonna focus on, thank you. I couldn't always do this, Angelica. I had to do a lot of practice, like just in modified handstands for a long time. So when I approach this, I want to avoid overusing my biceps to control my lowering. I want to focus more on my triceps because it's a push and then I'm controlling my body weight down. If I am this is where I see with people with hip pain, hip joint pain. They always use their quads and their hamstrings and they don't use the stabilizers as well. So the triceps is a version of, it is an elbow stabilizer as well as a shoulder stabilizer, but so is the biceps. The biceps is a puller, not as much as a push, though it does help with shoulder flexion. It assists in that. But even that, I just want to think punch. And if I'm punching, I'm using my triceps. But it's really a hip thing, guys, not arms. So, in review of that, using my triceps also helps me not just slam on my head. Oftentimes after I do handstand push-ups the next morning, I'm just like, why does my face hurt? And it's just like tightness from just banging my head. All right, I got last thing is 25 box jumps. So I'll talk about, as I'm doing these, what my strategies are. And my strategies are, I'm gonna try to get as much hip as I can. And I want to land quietly. And I have a plug that's like on the box, so if I land really hard, it's gonna knock it off. So that's my goal, not to knock it off. Now there's a couple different strategies that I can do with this. I can do more of a hip strategy where I push my hips back and I land pretty straight kneed. I do that whenever I need to save my quads for something else. I can do it like this, which I'm controlling the landing. So if I wanted to train an athlete that needed to be able to absorb and then move, I'd want to make sure that they're doing this. But if I had to train someone that needed to do like a ton of reps, I'd want to train different strategies to optimize or to save energy. So right now, this strategy is going to save my quads, but not the best if I land really hard on my knees. And this will just, it just looks tiring, like being here and then standing up. Or if I'm like trying to do a tuck jump, that's going to tire out my hip flexors. So somewhere in between is good. Ooh. I'm looking for a full foot landing so that we're not abusing the Achilles tendon. I don't know how many I'm on. Do 3 more. And so my heart rate is at 170. So I feel like I did something, but really I was working on accessory motions that are going to make other movements stronger. And these movements aren't typically done if you're a CrossFitter in a CrossFit class. Movements like the side raise, the front raise, Angelica asks, jumping in general is difficult for me. How do you get height while still landing softly? I see you doing it. Break it down, I can't get height. Okay, first thing, jumping history. And I'm just gonna talk in general. That's an awesome question, Angelica, thank you for that. Jumping history is number one. when people come in and they say, I'm leaking when I run, or I am leaking when I jump, my first question is, how long have you jumped for in your life? Lots of times, these women are novice jumpers. They were not the people that did the tip-off on the basketball court. In fact, they weren't even on the court at all. Sorry, that was... But sometimes that we just start there. If you are a new jumper, then we need to talk about building capacity to jump first. So building the ability to spring using your tendon. And that starts with bouncing and just getting your tendons used to that. So when people leak and they just are trying to lose the baby weight and they weren't really like consistent workouters, that's sometimes like as simple as it can be, is like, hey, you haven't built the capacity before baby. After baby, it's going to be slower. Second thing is, we all have people have different strengths, or what their body naturally is better at. So for me, I was always a sprinter or a jumper. Like, I could jump super high and I could get speed super quick. I was not someone that had stamina or that liked distance. In fact, I don't know how I played soccer. I hated it. After I tore my ACL, I had to work really hard to become an endurance athlete. So, you can do it, it just, jump and the next person's jump is probably going to look a lot different. But you just understand that, not everyone has the stiffness, and that comes in the type of connective tissue in your tendons and in your joints in general. Then, my question would be, do you have a hard time, is it just the landing off while landing softly? How do you break it down? So I'm going to demonstrate next the 3 types of jumps. Okay, so we have the ankle dominant jump. My knees are relatively straight, and I'm just down. So this is like jump ropes. Okay? Dominant. You need a tendon recoil in your ankle and calf and foot muscle endurance. You have the hip dominant jump. So hips shoots back, and you can go either forward or you can go straight up. Basically, if I want to use my hips, I'm going to sit my hips back, load the glutes, and then either, if I want to go forward, I'm going to go like, there's less knee bend. Hips back, stretch on the hamstring, then explode. If I want to go vertical, my hips are going to bend, my knees are going to bend, and I go up. So it's all about the direction of your hips, depending on if you want to go up or down. You want to load the jump to the point where, okay, if I'm going forward, I want to feel my hip flexors and glutes stretch. So I meet that stretch with a rapid contraction. If I want to go straight up, I'm going to load my quads to the point like, oh, this is uncomfortable, then go straight up. Your ability to land softly depends on your muscles' ability to decelerate your body. So that's called a joint, a single joint, or decelerate your whole body. That's called eccentric control. So your body's this is my biceps lengthening. Eccentric control is me using active effort, the muscle, to control this down. versus just letting it flop down, that's not eccentric control. So, same thing goes with the pelvic floor. And this is a big thing of like point of contention. I do not have people ever think Kegel, unless they have an urge, like when they're just, I still don't. When they're running, because running is for the pelvic, is an activity that the muscles have to elongate and control the body weight in the above organs as it comes down on the tissue. So if you're going right into running postpartum, but you haven't developed this stuff yet, then, I mean, at least if you're asking me my advice, that's what I would say. Now, I hope that makes sense. So I just broke down an ankle dominant jump, a knee dominant jump, and a hip dominant jump. And you have to first have the capacity you have to have the strength to move your body weight, and you have to have the strength and the control to control your body weight coming down, but then also that tendon recoil. So I was gonna do another workout, and I will do another workout because I don't want to do my notes. So this workout, it's more gonna be a core workout. It's gonna be 3 rounds of 10. And I'm gonna do reverse tees on the wall, or wall angels, which I now call them, because before, in the previous workout, I was doing front and side raises, and those work like delta, not a core exercise, unless I was purposely doing one hand trying to work my side core to prevent any movement, or rotational core. Okay, good. You're welcome. I'm gonna use a weight. I'm gonna use probably 5 pounds, 2.5 or 5 pounds. I'm gonna do handstand walk-ups because I just did handstand push-ups. So endurance in my shoulders. I'm going to snatch grip. So I'm overhead here, breathing 10 deep breaths overhead, and then I'm going to do, so I said reverse tees, the walk-ups, the breathing overhead. And then I'm also going to do, side plank external shoulder rotation. I'm gonna do 3 rounds of 10 of each. And after each round, I'm gonna do, what do you guys want me to do? Burpees, talk about a different type of jump, which is kind of like a burpee. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do med ball throws in a chest press position. That's what I'm gonna do. So every round, I'm gonna do 15 of those, and then let's see. When people ask me, did you just think of this? My answer is always, well, yes, I did. Because when people want to do something, I do it with what make their workouts specific to what they want to do. So I want to be better at certain CrossFit. So I do the work for that. Okay, I'll do jumping push-ups, and med ball throws. All right. The toughest part about these lives is I can't use music. Okay, 5 pounds. I'm gonna do this on the wall. No, I don't have COVID. All right. Neutral pelvic position. My my thumbs, I'm making sure I'm maintaining my shoulders in external rotation. I'm not flat against the wall, I'm in neutral. Chin's in neutral. I go up and then down. My target here is middle trap. Notice I don't extend my elbows, I just let them go. I'm going to do a total of 10 of these handstand walk-ups. And I'm going to do them in such a way that my face is facing the wall because it's a lot harder to do it the other way. Okay. Woo! So why would I want to do that? Well, I want to be able to walk on my hands without getting injured. And that's the pattern, and that's the stability. So as I'm on one hand, I'm not just letting my arm just like clunk down. I'm pushing away, I'm breathing. If I had to, I could scale that and do it like this, in like a pike position where I'm like doing the same thing, except my feet are down. But I walk up surfaces there. Or I could do it here on this box, like this, walking up. I could do it from my knees, like this. All sorts of options. Okay, next one is a snatch, overhead breathing. Okay, 5 breaths is enough. So why would I do that? Well, we do overhead squats in CrossFit. And so if I'm doing a set of 15 overhead squats at 65 pounds, which is on this barbell, I better have my conditioning up. Basics, it's breathing. Everyone wants to skip breathing, but you can't breathe, you can't function. And it's great training. Like that was not a cakewalk. Okay, I said med ball. I'm gonna do 15 med ball throws. you guys can see that. So what I was doing there, just like with jumping, not only do I need speed to push, I need to control as I come down. If I'm not going to control it, it's going to go a lot on my tricep tendons, my shoulder could tip forward. So one thing that works on that is the wall slide, the wall angel. The scale for the tricep push-ups. Yeah, I'm gonna post the replay will either be on here or it's gonna be on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, Angelica. Okay, so I could do these like this. And honestly, for how much shoulder work I'm doing today, I don't want to compromise technique for something else. So I'm actually going to use the box so I can really focus on the push. And I'm not, yeah, that's the goal. My goal is plyometrics, so I want to respect that. No problem with scaling. Okay, round one done. I got 2 more to go. This is fun. This is a really fun circuit. Doing that right when I feel the burn between my shoulder blades. I also can feel a stretch in the chest here. Now, if you don't want to do, if this is something that you like and you want to do it, and you don't want to do like the kickoff thing that I'm doing, you don't have to. You could do a handstand wall walk. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. Lazy, I guess. Okay, so what you just saw is me losing because I'm fatigued in my shoulders. So I start to arch in my back, my arms go forward. So really I should only be doing three on each side. Things to keep in mind, as my elbows started to bend again, that's fatigue. So I see people, shoulders get fatigued so they start to bend their elbows. Or, I mean, that's not just with that, that's with a lot of things. Like for pull downs, straight up, like any pattern. Okay, wall walks. Oh, I think these might be the worst. This is awkward. 3. Okay, so things to keep in mind with the snatch breathing is I don't want to be too shrugged, but I don't want to just be hanging out here. I want to be active through my shoulders. I want to think spreading the bar, and I want to be mindful of my wrist position. And just, if you're new to CrossFit, like the wrist positions there, you got to get used to them, especially getting into like the hook grip. My neighbors think I'm crazy. I realized I forgot a movement. I forgot the side plank ER. I'll do that next. Okay, this is gonna be it. I'm not gonna actually do 3 rounds because it's a lot. Okay, side plank, external shoulder rotation. Things to keep in mind, you wanna be in a neutral spine. The more you're rolled back, the easier the less you're even working what you think you're working. So, side plank, spine in neutral, wrist in neutral as much as I can. The slower you go, the more likely the rotator cuff is going to be working. Versus fast, you're going to have help for the deltoid. There you have it. So just did some accessory work, kept my heart down relatively speaking. First workout I showed you how I added some flavor to the workout so that my heart rate did go up a little bit too much, so it felt like I did something. Second workout was more of a core workout specific to movements that I wanted to get better at. You saw how I modified, like started with 3 sets, went down to 2, said planned on doing 10 breaths overhead, did 5 on each side with the plates, went down, well, you didn't see me, but would have gone down to 3. Gave you a few tips of how to modify some of these. Yeah, so there's a lot more where this comes from. Workouts can be fun. Workouts can always feel like you did something if you have intention, and if you have a little guidance along the way if you need it. Hopefully you got something out of this. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. Stay safe, stay well. See you next time.